Hey everybody, this is Diesel from Imagineyourgoddess, bringing you another deck profile from Diesel's Deck Cocktails. Today we are doing Dantarian. Does it sound like a Digimon to you? It sounds like a Digimon to the rest of us. We're going to go ahead and show you what it is. It is a Dantarian Amon build. This is a dark irregular build that kind of helps if you're a little bit on a budget. It also helps if you are a little bit weird and you like to play weird decks. So, start off, I run Greedy Hand. Greedy Hand allows you to get dimensional creepers into the thing, as I've said in a previous deck profile using Dantarian. Always good to be able to get dimensional creepers into the soul, so I run Greedy Hand. Okay, for triggers, I run 4 copies of Dark Knight of Nightmareland and 3 copies of Amon's Follower, Cruel Hand. 7 crits. Then I run 5 draws, 1 copy of Amon's Follower, Psychic Waitress, and 4 Hysteric Shirleys. This makes sure that I get things on the board. I need to be able to soul charge, and these cards do it. The Dark Knight of Nightmareland and the Hysteric Shirley. It also makes sure that I have plenty of draws so that I can get cards that I need when it's time to defend. Does it work all the time? Of course not. This is Dark Irregulars. But it is helping out with the consistency to have 5 draws. Then finally, I have 4 heals. 4 Cursed Doctors. Okay? Cursed Doctor is my heal trigger, my personal favorite. You can use any heal trigger you want. But I like Cursed Doctor. Okay, let's go on to the grade 1s. In grade 1s, I'm running 1 copy of Doreen the Thruster. Doreen is a great card, and I think that most of the time you want to run 2 or 3. But she's a very expensive card right now. And personally, I just find her to be lackluster if you're not amazingly soul charging. The rule is, if you're not soul charging 3 or more, she's barely worth what you're doing with her. So, I put in 1. If you like more, please play it. But that's the way it is. 4 perfect shields. Yeah, that's just the way it is. Alright? 4 copies of Alluring. This looks a lot like my Master of 5th Element build because it is a lot like my Master of 5th Element build. Alluring Succubus allows you to soul charge quickly. Very nice card. I enjoy it a lot. 4 Dimension Creepers for more soul charging. At the end of this game, you are going to want to be soul charging 10, 12, even 14 cards into the soul. Dimension Creeper allows you to do that while at the same time triggering Doreen's effect. Not bad. And I run 1 copy of Poet of Darkness Amon. Why? Because he's a 9K. Always. Wouldn't you want a 9K? Of course you do. Don't be silly. So, you will run those Amons. Okay. Going into grade 2s, I run 4 copies of Psychoglaive. Psychoglaive does a lot of work for this deck. Once you're at 6, he helps you boost into 7 and gives you significant power numbers. I like him. I run him. Also, this deck isn't very counterblast heavy, so that kind of helps too. I run 4 copies of Decadent Succubus. This is the primo ride for this deck. Because you ride the Decadent Succubus, then you start playing out your Flirtatiouses, your Allurings, and you're soul charging 2 for each one. Your Doreen is triggering like mad, and you just enjoy. You reap the benefits. Then I run 2 copies of Flirtatious Succubus. I would be running 3 copies of Flirtatious probably, except I didn't like in the Master of 5th Element build how I was soul charging a lot and not getting a lot of stuff done on my opponent's field. So I decided to tech in 1 copy of Gwyn the Ripper. This takes care of the fact that the deck isn't very counterblast heavy. It allows me to kill a rear guard, and overall it just kind of works out nicely for this deck. Now, if you guys look back at my previous Dark Irregular deck profiles, I've said that Gwyn is bad, and that you should not run Gwyn, etc., etc., etc. And I stand by that. For most Dark Irregular builds, you are using your counterblast for enough things that Gwyn the Ripper is not strictly necessary. But in this deck, running 1, it's okay. Does it work all the time? No. And it's certainly not consistent enough for you to be thinking that this is going to fly at a major tournament. But since it's just a fun deck to play with friends, why not mess with your friends a little bit with 1 Gwyn the Ripper? Maybe? Okay. Finally, I'll talk about the grade 3s. This is called Dantarian. Why is it called Dantarian? 4 copies of Dantarian helps. and 4 copies of Amon Reverse. Okay? Now, I chose Amon Reverse over Amon because really it's cheaper. Amon's really nice because you can get those final power numbers with an extra double crit, kind of forcing your opponent to do as much guarding as possible toward the end of the game. And if you got the break right off, even better, because you are making columns that are insanely high, and at the same time getting a double crit off of Amon. Dantarian's effect works really, really well in this deck because you're planning to save most of your soul charging for the end. I mean, if you can do a really big hit with Decadent as your Vanguard, you go ahead and you soul charge like crazy. But this will make it so that you're hitting numbers all day. The highest recorded number I have in this deck so far is 65,000. 65,000 is a lot of power in one row. So, you know, try it. Give it a shot and see if you like it. I also like break riding over the break ride with the break ride, and then doing Amon as a final finisher on the next turn. Because if you just do it with Amon the one turn and they're at 3 or 4 damage, they're just going to sit there and hope for the best, and you're kind of left in the wind if you don't make those numbers count. So that's my personal suggestions on it. I hope to hear your feedback back. I hope that you guys enjoy this deck. It is a casual deck, but it can be fun. It can be a lot of fun if you let it be. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll talk to you later.